Hi, this is Greg Bailey. I'm going to go through a typical view that a project manager might see in SharkPro projects. I won't necessarily go into a lot of detail, but I will cover more of that in one of our more advanced webcasts on SharkPro projects. So what I'm looking at here is a project manager view, and I'm in the project screen. I have the ability to take a look at status of all of our projects, and in this case I've highlighted the product development project, and based on information we've entered related to the likelihood of certain risks occurring on the project, and I'll show you those risk screens a little bit later, it's identifying that on this particular project we've got a high likelihood that we've got a pretty big impact on that particular project. I'm also looking as a project manager at a little higher level view of the timeline of the project, identifying particular milestones that might be taking place and where we are on the project. For those that are familiar with Microsoft Project, you'll see this same type of view within Microsoft Project, and one of the things that we can do is open this particular project up to get more detail and to actually print out and do much more advanced timeline views, but this is an initial higher level view that we provide SharkPro projects on the web. I can also look at any documents that may have been taken place or we're working on, any deliverables that we've got on a particular project. The other thing is that when we create a project request and that project request is approved, SharkPro provides a 20 out-of-the-box workflows, and these workflows, and these are all user configurable, but initially ready to go, whether you're renting out the hosted site through the SaaS model or whether you're having this installed at your location. Each particular type of project has a different workflow. So there are some major governance phases that can take place, and then also steps that can take place within a project. SharkPro Projects is always going to let you know where you are in the workflow, and then visually represent to a particular user what the steps are that still have to take place for a particular project. Again, graphically representing status on our projects, also the workflow and the stages that we have on our project. One of the things that will happen is that if you wanted to drill into a particular project, I could do that. In this case, I'm just looking specifically at the product development project. I'm looking at tasks, current progress, again, issues that we might have on the project, deliverables, and the workflow. Just a slightly different view. Main thing I wanted to let you know is if you're in the system, you have the option of, as a project manager, viewing at multiple projects on a view with its workflow, or looking at a slightly different view, which is one particular project. And that's all based on your selection criteria. So again, you're in a particular menu option, you're in a particular role, and then choose whether you want to look at all projects or one particular project. The other thing is that if you do want to get into the detail and look at a particular task within a project, there's a couple of ways to do that. I can look at it here, or I might want to drill into the schedule. And what we're going to do is leverage a very nice user experience with much more detail on our project schedule. This actually is leveraging Microsoft Project or Project Web Access here. And there's a number of predefined forms that we can enter related to a particular project. So in this case, I have got a planning checkpoint, maybe some risk evaluation, maybe strategic impact. So all of this is basic information we can enter. The other thing we can do is if we want to edit that particular project or edit tasks, we can do it through Project Web App, which is just the web-based interface, or through Microsoft Project Professional. Main thing we wanted to do with SharkPro projects is leverage all of the great capability that we get with Microsoft Project Server, but simplify that user experience, provide additional capability that allows a smaller or mid-market organization or even a smaller PMO that might want to take advantage of Project Server without a lot of initial setup. So as you can see, I've opened up that project. I'm in Microsoft Project. That timeline view, which I showed you on the web, is now available here as well. This is a great new capability within Microsoft Project 2010. I'm actually hitting Control and then highlighting tasks, and then if I right mouse click and say add to the timeline, that information comes up here on the timeline. There's some other nice things I can do in terms of copying and pasting this information for a presentation or into a detailed PowerPoint, or maybe you want to put this in your Outlook to mail. A lot of this capability is in Microsoft Project, and I'll actually go into a little bit more of that in detail at a later time. So with that, I just want to let you know that from a project manager perspective, I get a lot of capability right out of the box with SharkPro projects, and then we're able to leverage Project Server and open up projects in Microsoft Project and Project Web Access here for editing, changing, adding issues, adding risks, all straight, ready to go. So thank you very much for viewing the webcast on the Project Manager view. And we'll come back in a little bit more later and show you more detail on reporting and some of the more advanced capabilities that we have for a project manager to manage their project. Thank you very much.